tonight in our news weekend, a nation in mourning. Environment and Natural Resources Minister Von Miller suddenly passes away. Tonight, his family and cabinet colleagues react. But first, cancelled. The Ministry of Education is cancelling some schools on Monday as government offices close on selected islands. As Tropical Storm Imelda moves up the chain of islands. And government forced to shut down airports across several islands given the impending storm. We'll tell you which ones and what that means for travelers. Our news weekend starts right now. Welcome to our news weekend. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Berthany McDermott. We've got a lot to get to, but first we begin with some sad news. The nation mourns the loss of well-known voice, Environment and Natural Resources Minister and Golden Isles Member of Parliament Von Miller has passed away. Miller, an ordained minister and former broadcaster, was a staple on ZNS Gospel Radio, touching lives through his ministry. His passing marks the end of a remarkable political journey. He was first elected in 2017 under the Free National Movement administration and later returned under the Progressive Liberal Party in 2021, making him one of few to have served in both major parties. Tonight, condolences are pouring in from across the country, remembering him as a leader, a minister, and a man of faith. And in the midst of the mourning, the nation also faces another challenge tonight, as a tropical storm warning remains in effect for the northern, northwest, and central Bahamas. The system continues its movement up the chain of islands, bringing heavy showers, gusty winds, and the increased risk of flooding to low-lying areas. Authorities say gradual strengthening is expected, with stronger winds likely overnight into tomorrow. Tonight, we'll have the very latest from the Disaster Risk Management Authority as they continue to track the system. Plus, reports from the capital, Grand Bahama, on our teams on the ground in Abaco and San Salvador, which was spared. With Tropical Storm Imelda churning through the islands, education officials aren't taking any chances, ordering school closures across several islands. The move comes as the system strengthens. Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin making the announcement this afternoon during a Disaster Risk Management Authority press conference, confirming that government schools on multiple islands will be closed until the storm passes. Hannah Martin outlined the islands where closures will take effect.
The Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training announces the temporary closure of all schools in the following islands on Monday, September 29th, 2025. Grand Bahama, Abaco, including the Keys, Grand Key, Andros, Berry Islands, New Providence, Eleuthera, Exuma and Keys, San Salvador. According to projections from the Department of Meteorology, these islands are expected to experience significant, sustained rainfall and localized flooding. In the interest of student and staff safety, the ministry has activated its emergency protocols and suspended school operations in the affected areas.
During that press conference, Acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper and State Minister with responsibility for the Disaster Risk Management Authority Leon Lundy also urging Bahamians to heed the warnings.
Residents in flood-prone areas should use every precaution and where possible move to higher ground. Emergency shelters have been opened on several islands and local authorities are prepared to assist those who cannot remain safely in their homes. The police and defense forces and the Department of Social Services are all fully mobilized.
If this storm is in your area, shelter in place. Reports indicate that far too many of our brothers and sisters are still on the roads. Let me be clear, this is dangerous. Dangerous for you and dangerous for the first responders who must risk their own safety to protect yours. The safest place you can be right now is indoors.
The University of the Bahamas also shutting down their campuses. Both Oaksfield and UB North will be closed Monday and Tuesday as Tropical Storm Imelda is expected to bring heavy rain. The university says remote learning will be activated where power and internet allows, with faculty asked to stay in contact with their students. UB officials say normal operations will resume only after the all clear is given and safety checks are complete. Students and staff are urged to follow UB's website and social media for updates. And our team coverage of Tropical Storm Imelda with Danielle Miller here in New Providence, our Delvado Emmanuel in Abaco, and Joshua Williams in San Salvador, which has been spared the worst of the storm so far. We begin in New Providence, where Danielle reports deteriorating weather conditions compared to this morning. Danielle, what are things looking like?
Hi, Berthany. The rain is down again and the winds have begun to pick up. Now, we've been experiencing on and off showers all day. One resident, Patricia Roll, describing it as puzzling. We met her at a gas station this morning while the system was still categorized as Tropical Depression 9. She told me after enduring 3 hours at the grocery store yesterday, her and her husband came out to do some last-minute errands, and to her surprise, the pandemonium has subsided.
We're just driving, just trying to see what's going on. It's not too bad. I have seen a few cars. I went to the store again this morning, and it was not too bad.
Our news team also visiting a local grocery store. Although there was not much chaos, there was a consistent flow of customers. That's according to Packer Brandon. He said from his observation, customers came in that morning to purchase various items, mostly snacks.
So I'm buying like some fruits, noodles, chip, ice cream, all that.
And while most persons would groan at having to work the morning of an impending tropical storm, Brandon says he was happy to come to work. And here's why.
A lot of money making, a lot of customers was coming in.
Now, the streets of New Providence have begun flooding, which officials had suspected. For more coverage on Tropical Storm Imelda, follow our social media pages. Reporting live for our news, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks, Danielle, and stay safe out there. Our Danielle Miller reporting live in New Providence tonight. Now we move to Abaco. Conditions continue to worsen as the storm pushes north. Our Delvado Emmanuel is on the ground there tonight with how residents are bracing for impact. Delvado, what are you seeing?
Well, BJ, I can tell you, as you can see, it is raining now. We are experiencing a few gusty winds here and there. There are a bit light floodings right now. But of course, I'm standing here in the RV park here in Marsh Harbor, where officials have announced a evacuation order for residents here. Now, tonight, I can tell you, majority, if not all of those residents, have heeded warnings as Tropical Storm Imelda move closer. Now, emergency officials are on high alert across the islands. Here's more about how officials are preparing and the message they have for residents.
Though we not expecting any major hurricane, we do know that these things could change overnight, and we don't want anyone to take any chances.
As Tropical Storm Imelda edges closer to the Bahamas, officials here in Abaco are warning residents to prepare for possible impacts and heed evacuation orders. The order applies to residents of Grand Key and those living in the RV trailer park near the government complex in Marsh Harbor. Authorities have also activated the Central Abaco Primary School as an emergency shelter. When I visited the trailer park today, I found that most residents had already evacuated, following warnings from local officials. Family Island Administrator for Central Abaco and the Abaco Keys, Kenwood Cartwright, says the Incident Command Center has been activated as part of emergency response efforts.
We don't want to take any chances, and so we want to put our best foot forward and make sure we're well prepared ahead of this storm.
Meanwhile, law enforcement officials are also stepping up readiness. Chief Superintendent Michael Thurston, officer in charge of the Abaco Division of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, says officers have already been deployed across the island.
Out to those who would want to use this opportunity to commit crimes such as housebreaking, stealing during the storm in particular, we're going to be up and about, and we definitely will be looking for those individuals who have ill intentions and to deal with them accordingly.
And the Royal Bahamas Defense Force is also on standby. Acting Force Chief Petty Officer Garnet Hall says they are ready to assist with search and rescue efforts if needed.
We have also 2 jet skis available. We have 3 trucks available, and we have a manpower of 9 in total. And we are ready to assist anyone in Abaco and also our counterparts.
Now, BJ, a majority of the businesses here on the island have shortened hours. They're closed. A lot of them have sent their staff home. I can tell you we're staying at the Abaco Beach Resort. They too have sent their staff home. Now, the weather is expected to intensify throughout the night. And of course, we will bring you those live updates. So we're asking residents to stay tuned to our new social media pages for those live updates. For now, here in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, from the Trailer Park, I'm Delvado Emmanuel, sending back to you in the capital.
Thanks, Delvado. Stay safe down there. That's our Delvado Emmanuel live from Abaco and our Danielle Miller here in the capital. We go now to Grand Bahama, where an evacuation order is still in effect for residents in East Grand Bahama. When our news team drove through the island earlier today, we observed off and on rain showers, roads, calm but cautious communities preparing for the worst. We stopped by several shelters that have been activated and headed into the Freetown community to see whether residents were heeding the call to leave. Former Chief Counselor for East Grand Bahama, Marcus Cooper, says many appear to be taking the warning seriously.
What you see is few of the men of the community who remain behind. So early this morning we would have assisted the neighbor with putting tarp on the roof, just so when they return home, they wouldn't meet again their homes still filled with water from the rain.
As for Glenroy Cooper, an East End resident, he, along with a few others, spent the morning helping neighbors secure their homes and making final preparations.
Until we see conditions, probably, if we can't bear it, we'll decide what to do. But many of the men, we decide to probably hang around. The females, they're more or less, majority of them, they are gone. Mm-hmm. So we're going to hang around. We believe we'll fare it out pretty well. Mm-hmm. Just to, not to really just protect property, but then we still want to be around just an event if we could be able to assist with anything. And the anxiousness right now is just because because of people thinking about past Dorian. Mm-hmm. But other than that, we experienced many other storms with much more severe weather. So we believe that things will be good.
And finally, we head down to San Salvador. On the anniversary of Hurricane Joaquin, residents in San Salvador got a tiny reminder of what they experienced 10 years ago. Heavy rainfall, winds, and dangerous waves hit the island during this afternoon hours. Our Joshua Williams is there. He now joins us live. Joshua, what can you tell us from San Salvador?
Good evening, Berthany. I'm standing in Coburn Town, which is the main settlement here in San Salvador. There's a slight drizzle that's going on right now. About 30 minutes before we came to air, there was a heavy downpour. My cameraman and I had to seek shelter under a government building. As you can see, the rain is picking up. But quickly, it was different than it was now. This morning, the sun was out. It was shining. It was bright. Everyone thought that the storm had left. And in the words of our weekday meteorologist, Greg Thompson, things got a little nasty. For the second day in a row, residents in San Salvador woke up to sunny skies and little to no rain, a sign that Tropical Storm Imelda had passed. But just like yesterday, it would turn out to be an illusion. Out of what seemed like nowhere, cloud coverage quickly thickened, and for about an hour, there was a heavy downpour. The difference from yesterday, however, strong winds came with it. The sea, the roughest it's been since we arrived Friday. Waves well above sea level crashing over storm walls. The main Queens Highway, which runs along the coastline, experiencing a bit of flooding. Some cars still able to maneuver through the streets, however. Eventually, the rain stopped and conditions returned similar to how they were this morning before the burst of wild weather. Today's weather occurring on the 10th anniversary of Hurricane Joaquin, the Category 4 hurricane that battered this island with dangerous winds, heavy rainfall, and flooding causing extensive damage. All right, Berthany, quickly we're going to get out of the rain, but I just wanted to say that the island administrator was driving around the island this evening, checking on residents, making sure everything is okay. There's no damage at all. The power stayed on the entire time, so hopefully when we join you guys in Nassau back tomorrow, the system would have completely cleared the area. Berthany?
Thanks so much, Joshua. You and Darnell stay safe down there. That's our Joshua Williams reporting live from San Salvador. Well, that's a look at conditions across the islands tonight as Tropical Storm Imelda moves through. For the latest on the storm's track and what we can expect overnight, we go now to our meteorologist, Ian McKenzie, for the very latest. Ian, what's new?
Thanks, Berthany. Good evening, Bahamas, on this wet Sunday evening. Well, at 5 p.m. this evening, Imelda was positioned at 24.2 degrees north or 77.3 degrees west and is moving slowly northwards at about 9 miles per hour. Winds are packing around 40 miles per hour, gusting up to 52 miles per hour. And from this trek, you can see that Imelda is just about to the south of New Providence, should be trekking across us tonight, then making its way northward across the more northern islands between Grand Bahama, eastern Grand Bahama, and northern Abaco, where that evacuation order was given. They do expect about 1 to 3 feet above normal tide, so that surge is possible as well. Coupled with flooding conditions, the localized rain that is expected across these areas, we're asking residents to continue to exercise caution. Intermittent rain expected to continue in the capital as well as throughout the rest of the central and the northwest Bahamas through tonight into tomorrow, and hopefully, based on the forecast track, if it doesn't slow down, because for some reason these storms seem to just love the Bahamas, but we want them out of here as soon as possible. So by about tomorrow, 2 p.m., Imelda should be well to the north of our area. We do expect some localized flooding to persist, and this could be all courtesy of trailing troughs associated with this massive system. Berthany?
Thanks so much, Ian. We'll check back in with you later on in the newscast. Shifting gears now, remembered as the silent giant of his family, Environment and Natural Resources Minister Vaughn Miller has passed away, leaving behind his family to mourn and the nation in shock. This is the fourth time a sitting minister has passed away while in office in the last 50 years, and the second cabinet minister to pass away under the Davis administration. His family says the death was shocking. It's a bit of news that took everyone by surprise. Early Sunday morning, Golden Isles MP and Environment and Natural Resources Minister Vaughn Miller passed away. The news sending shockwaves throughout the community as cabinet colleagues and family members met at Doctors Hospital, where Miller was taken and took his last breath. His brother Glenn Miller telling us soon after he got the tragic news that he couldn't believe it when the news broke.
You know, when I got the call and thought I would come to check it out for myself, I still really didn't believe it until I really just saw his face just now.
He stressed that his brother was loved by his family and the community he served. Miller first came into frontline politics back in 2017 when he won the Golden Isle seat under the former minister's administration. But Miller trod a rocky road with the party that eventually led to him being fired from his government-appointed post. He eventually left the F&M and became an independent MP. Miller then joined the then-opposition Progressive Liberal Party, but outside of his public life, Miller served as a pastor.
He always wanted to serve. He always wanted to. One time, Vaughn told me he wanted me to go into politics together. I told Vaughn I didn't have to call for it. I never had, I'm in ministry and he's in ministry. And I told him I just never was called in that area. I said, if you're called, then you could go ahead. And he went.
Miller, a father and husband, leaves behind many to mourn his passing. Former PLP cabinet minister Leslie Miller telling us the cabinet minister had planned to step down from frontline politics. His cousin Teran Miller shared his response to the news.
You know, it's a sad day. You know, it seems as though he was on his way to the hospital and you know, he just didn't make it. But we the family, we speak of the caring, the loving Vaughn, the Vaughn who he was the silent giant of the family.
And tributes pouring in the wake of Miller's untimely passing. In a statement, Prime Minister Philip Davis said he's lost for words about Miller's passing, adding that Miller's story is one that reflects the best of our country. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville said he was a voice for the people and sometimes found himself standing alone on his firm beliefs. National Security Minister Wayne Munro and State Minister for Environment and Natural Resources Zane Lightbourne joined family members at Doctors Hospital early Sunday morning in the wake of Miller's passing.
It is a great loss to this country. He had just championed the passing of the mining bill and was pressing to get it fully actualized. These things happened, and it's a blessed Sunday morning, but life goes on.
I thought it was a spoof at the beginning. I saw a flyer with his face on it, and I was shocked.
Miller's passing comes days after the Progressive Liberal Party marked the second anniversary of the sudden death of former cabinet minister and veteran broadcaster Obi Wilshcombe. Meanwhile, Free National Movement leader Michael Pintar describing Miller as a man of faith, a devoted husband, and a decent family man whose love for his country was evident in his words and his works. Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain said Miller's warm spirit and unwavering faith left an indelible mark on his life and on the lives of countless Bahamians. Former PLP Cabinet Minister Leslie Miller says he grew close to Miller over the years and recently started campaigning with him. He shared this memory.
I met a guy who I knew from Eastern Junior High School, mechanic. And he started cursing, say, here you see 1 in 5 years. And I say, listen, man, this is my jock. You say, yeah, you was a Miller too. I say, yeah. So I decided, I said, listen, a couple other places we went, same thing. So I say, family. From now on, I call his family. I don't know I can deal with these people.
And describing Miller as a good man and a great politician, Acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper leading a moment of silence for the late politician just before giving an official update on Tropical Storm Imelda at the DRM headquarters today. Acting Prime Minister Cooper.
Vaughn was a man of principle and faith who brought dignity to every role he held. From his early days as a broadcaster, his voice carried authority, warmth, and clarity. Later, as a pastor and community leader, he brought the same spirit of service to the lives of those he touched. In Parliament and as a cabinet minister, he worked with quiet determination, guided always by his convictions. His passing is a deep loss for our country.
When our news weekend comes back from the break, the official hurricane shelter list has been released and some of them have been activated. We'll tell you which ones. Plus, port operations in the Northwest Bahamas have been suspended in the face of the impending storm. The details when our news weekend returns.
Sasha Lightborn here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow all of the R News social media pages to make sure that you don't miss those top stories from the team you already trust.
Family, how you look so down? Set them all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that running nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set them all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set them all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime.
The Disaster Risk Management Authority has released the official 2025 hurricane shelter list, and several are now activated. In Andros, the South Andros Multipurpose Center is open. In New Providence, shelters include the Nassau Village Community Center and the New Bethlehem Baptist Church. In Grand Bahama, residents are urged to head to the Maurice Moore Primary School, that's for East Grand Bahama. Other shelters on the island include Christ the King Church, the Designated Special Needs Center, along with St. George's High School Gym and 8 Mile Rock High School Gym. And in Abaco, Central Abaco Primary School is now open. Now, officials are urging residents, especially those in low-lying and flood-prone areas, to evacuate early and arrive prepared with supplies and essential documents. Most airports throughout the country closed Saturday night as Tropical Depression 9 moves through the region. The Freeport Airport Development Company announcing in a statement that services at GBIA were suspended at 9 last night, and the airport will remain closed today until 8 p.m. tomorrow, and once the all clear is given by the Department of Meteorology and safety checks are completed. The Lynden Pilling International Airport remains closed, but is expected to reopen tomorrow at 8 p.m., according to the Airport Authority. Over in Abaco, the Leonard M. Thompson International Airport will remain closed until 1 p.m. Monday. The authority also noted that all their airports in Eleuthera, Governor's Harbor, North Eleuthera, and Rock Sound will remain closed until 6 a.m. Monday. Airports will also be closed in Andros, the Berry Islands, and South Bimini until Monday at 6 a.m. Bahamas Air has revised several of its flights for tomorrow and canceled 4 of them. Those canceled flights include flights into Marsh Harbor and Freeport, Freeport to Fort Lauderdale, and Marsh Harbor to West Palm Beach. The revised flight for tomorrow include flights from Orlando to Nassau, from Nassau to Montego Bay, Nassau to Crooked Island, Nassau to Acklins, among others. Bahamas Air has announced that change fees and penalties will be waived until October 4th. For the full listing of flights, visit our new social media pages for the official press statement. And if you need to reach out to the Bahamas Air's reservation department, you can call them at 702-4140. The Port Department alerting mariners that port operations in the Northwest Bahamas remain suspended. Officials say all ports were ordered to cease operation as of midnight Sunday, September 28th, out of abundance of caution as the storm system passes through. The Port Department says it continues to monitor conditions closely and will provide an update once the all clear is given and it's safe to resume operations. Mariners are encouraged to remain safe and follow advisories from the Department of Meteorology. And with tropical storm conditions moving through the country, environmental health officials are urging residents to secure their property and protect their health. The Department of Environmental Health Services is advising residents to secure all garbage bins and containers ahead of the storm to prevent trash from being scattered by strong winds. They're also asking residents to cover or tip over open containers to avoid standing water, which can quickly become a breeding ground for mosquitoes. The department says there will be no residential garbage or bulk waste collection until the storm has passed. And once weather conditions improve, vector control officers will begin fogging and treating stagnant water in low-lying areas. When we come back from the break, meteorologist Ian McKinsey is back with a look at the week ahead. That's coming up when our news weekend returns.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that running nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set up all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set up all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Cetamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Kendino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product.
Good evening, happy Sunday. Welcome to Our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. NBA players VJ Edgecombe and Eric Gordon made history 2 years ago as teammates on the Bahamas national basketball team, powering Team 242 to the verge of an Olympic berth. VJ, the rookie, and EJ, the vet, are teammates once again in the city of brotherly love.
Just becoming a better player in general, both offensively and defensively. Been working a lot on my shooting, finishing, playmaking. So, like I said, I feel like I've grown a lot everywhere.
That's VJ Edgecombe talking about the work he put in ahead of his first NBA season. Taken third overall in the 2025 draft, big things are expected from the 20-year-old guard from Bimini, and he's been spending the offseason preparing himself for the game mentally with 20-year NBA vet Kyle Lowry and physically with the training staff.
He can teach me a lot. He spams a young buck. That's my name, Tim. So, I learned a lot. My locker's right next to his. So, he gonna see me a lot all year. So, I guess I'm just excited to learn from someone that has so much experience within the game. Someone that has so much knowledge. I just want to pick his brain as much as I can.
VJ was only 3 years old when his countryman Eric Gordon made his NBA debut. He's ready to be a good mentor and play his role as a sharpshooter.
At my age, in my phase of my career, you have to mentor. Like, that's without a doubt.
I've been around VJ the most. I've known him for quite a while, and of course, I'm going to be looking forward to, helping not just him, but all the young guys looking forward. And but when I'm in the game, I have to do my part, knock down shots, spread the floor, let guys operate it like on their own. But when I'm out there, I got to knock down shots, and I got to look forward to, making things happen.
And they'll make their preseason debut on Thursday against the New York Knicks. Bringing things a little closer to home, UB had their annual cross-country meet, and we were there.
So we see more interest from the high schools, the primary schools. It's a new addition we've had this year. And so we're very, very pleased with the numbers. I think this is something that we want to do, ensure that's happening more frequently to kind of bring cross-country back.
That's UB Athletic Director Kim Roll at the UB Mingo's cross-country meet yesterday. Now in its fourth year, the event is the biggest it's ever been.
We've set record numbers. We're at almost 1,000. I think it's 959 athletes. Last year we did 830. So what we have seen each year is incrementally we have risen in numbers. And so we're very, very excited that we were able to get more persons out. We see more interest from the high schools, the primary schools. It's a new addition we've had this year.
That's correct. Athletes as young as primary school age competed, as well as U13, U15, U17, and the Open Division. Running on their home course, UB athletes Najaya Motamore and Levine Joseph took the men's and women's Open divisions.
At the end, my teammate was able to push me, and we worked off of one another. And after competing abroad and this being my freshman year, it was really good to compete in this meet as a Mingo.
The cross-country season feels long and short at the same time. We've been training since June until now, and international competition has been great. And even the local meet, I think it's one of my favorite cross-country meets, just because of we get the feeling of being home, family, friends come to support, and it's just a great time overall.
Well, that's a wrap for sports this evening. For our sports weekend, I'm Tej Adderley. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best.
I was just telling my friend I wish I could get my Our News updates sent to my phone, like a WhatsApp message or something, you know?
Haven't you heard?
Well, who say that?
It's me, Jerome, your news godfather, and I'm here to update your life.
Well, how do you plan to update my life exactly? Because I don't think I'm understanding. Care to elaborate?
Our News has launched its broadcast channel, so now most important updates come straight to your WhatsApp.
Dad, so you tell me that I have access to real-time updates and news at 7:30?
Yes, you get it first and direct and unfiltered.
Okay.
It's perfect for our viewers who want to stay on top of what's going on.
Well, I wouldn't say anything.
Welcome back to our news weekend. And we're still keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Imelda. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie joins us live one more time in the Weather Center with your weekly forecast. Ian.
Thanks again, Brittany, and good evening, Bahamas. Outside our studios, we're under cloudy skies with a temperature of 81. Very breezy out there. Southwesterly winds at 32 miles per hour. Feels like very warm at 88 degrees. Across the country at this time, we have 79 in Freeport as well as Great Harbor Key, 78 in Marsh Harbor, 80s in Allenstown, Nicholstown, 81 in the capital, 82 in Governor's Harbor. Central Bahamas, 80 in Camps Bay, 83 in Georgetown and Coburn Town, San Salvador, 82 in Black Point, 81 in Arthurstown, 80 Port Nelson, 79 in Deadman's Key, Long Island. Southeast Bahamas, we have 85 in Duncantown as well as Matthewtown and Nagua, 83 in Colonel Hill, 84s in Delectable Bay, Abrahams Bay, and in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. Satellite, and no radar, but tracking the tropics right now. We're looking at the satellite imagery where we can see deep convection associated with Tropical Storm Imelda pushing northwards and eventually should be out of our area by later tomorrow afternoon. To the east of Imelda, we still have Umberto out there. Umberto is a major category storm. None of these, well, rather, Imelda should continue to push north, and all of their movement is courtesy of an upper level trough as well as a high pressure ridge, and these systems are expected to impact Bermuda by about midweek. Taking a look now at our boating forecast, where both of those systems are posing marine danger across our country. For the northwest and central Bahamas, we have tropical storm conditions in place for you boaters and beachgoers. Winds northeast to east, becoming northwesterly at 25 to 35, getting up to 45 knots million in northern Bahamas. Seas 8 to 12, but up to 17 feet, no easterly swells. High tide at 1:04 a.m. tomorrow morning, low tide at 7:07 a.m. Southeast Bahamas, again, we are asking you boaters to remain in port due to those swells. Wind southerly at 15 to 25 knots, seas 5 to 8, but up to 10 feet in those easterly swells. In your extended forecast, we still have some showers hanging around, all courtesy of moisture associated with Tropical Storm Imelda. A brief break on Wednesday, showers again Thursday through the weekend. That's all courtesy of trailing moisture associated with both of those systems. Highs only getting into the mid up to upper 80s, with your low temperatures to the mid to upper 70s. That's a wrap on the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun week, everyone.
Thanks so much, Ian, and thank you for joining us for our News Weekend. We'll continue to closely monitor the system until it passes, bringing you updates as they happen. Be sure to stay tuned to our new social media pages. That's Our News Bahamas on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for the very latest information. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Berthany McDermott. Enjoy the rest of your evening and stay safe, everyone. We'll see you right back here for our news tomorrow night at 7 and 7:30.